All garden plants have a history, the various trails they took to find their way into our fields. The huge, mysterious continent of Africa, especially around Ethiopia, is where many of our cultivated plants had their origin. This is where okra came from. History is obscure and uncertain, but we can follow okra up to Egypt, where it's been commonly grown for hundreds of years. Okra also found its way across the Red Sea into Arabia, and from there it spread completely around the Mediterranean and eastward to India. In our little country, it probably landed with the French colonists in Louisiana. Thomas Jefferson mentions it being grown in Virginia, and by the 1800s, there were several distinct varieties. Both the words okra and gumbo are of African origin. The flowers of okra tell us that it's in the hibiscus family, the same beautiful swirling flowers that you see in a hollyhock. Okra is very easy to grow. We just take the seeds and plant them, about 6 to a foot in warm soil. If the soil temperature is only 60 degrees, it'll take a full month for the okra to sprout. But when the soil temperature is 75 degrees, it'll sprout in 2 weeks. But I found that if I wait till about June 1st, when I'm planting sweet potatoes, the okra, when the soil is 90 degrees, jumps out of the ground in 1 week. It's always better to plant when our seeds come up quickly, because then we can get in there with our hose quicker to get rid of those pesky weeds. If you get real impatient and want to get your okra out soon, you can always do a few of these little tricks. One of them is to soak the seeds overnight in warm water. Another trick is to freeze the seeds overnight. And the third way is to rub them a little bit with sandpaper and nick the hard outer coat so that they'll sprout a little quicker. Because it comes from Africa, a country with alternate rainy spells and drought conditions, okra is very adaptable to the weather. It can take too much rain, or it can withstand a drought. We plant okra late, and it graces the fall garden with its beauty. It's just such a pretty plant. This variety is called Burgundy. Obviously, it has these beautiful dark red pods and stems and all. It's a real pretty plant. The other variety that we grow is called Clemson Spineless. It's a standard green variety. Both of these varieties are natural hybrids from the wild plants that grew around Ethiopia. Consequently, they show a certain hybrid vigor. But you can save the seeds on them. They'll come true from seed. We simply just let the pods get real big and then just leave them over winter. In the spring, take out the seeds and plant them. There are hybrid varieties of okra that do well in a shorter season, cooler climate that has adequate summer moisture. Hybrids like Cajun Delight. Okra is a pretty easy plant to grow. There doesn't seem to be any insects or diseases that bother it, although it's bothersome for some people to harvest it because of the little spines and such on the leaves and stems. So many people will wear gloves and long sleeves when they harvest their okra. I usually use pruning shears when I harvest it, and I pick them, when they're about 3 to 4 inches long. You don't want to let them get too big. Whenever a plant makes a big fruit with mature seed, the plant then loses vigor because it's already made seed. We like to keep our plants like okra in a vegetative state, so we continually harvest. Every 2 or 3 days we have to get in here and get all these little baby okras out. We don't want them to get big, unless we're at the end of the season. We might, if we're going to save seed. Sometimes I use a knife because I forgot to take my pruning shears to the field, so you can cut them with a pocket knife. When you cut it, if that stem is hard to cut, then the okra is going to be hard to eat. The seeds from okra are in many countries used to make a high quality cooking oil, and or they can be roasted and used as a coffee substitute. Okra is a staple in many countries in Africa and Asia and around the Mediterranean. Okra is slimy. You either love it or you probably don't like it at all. If you're not thickening up a soup with it, you might be frying it in cornmeal. That's the way it's typically eaten in the South. We like to pickle it, just like you would make cucumber pickles. We love okra pickles. Okra has been part of our history for a long time and continues to grace southern gardens with its beautiful flowers, foliage, and fruits.
For inspiring garden tours, growing tips, and garden projects, visit our website at volunteergardener.org or on YouTube at the Volunteer Gardener channel and like us on Facebook.